got a great idea. I got a couple people that are maybe going to work for me, but what do I do now? And that's where I will talk about different events that are specific just for those type of things, that you are just starting out your business, or maybe you're further involved. So it depends on where you're at in that. I could help you out with those things. And what I like to do is put the connections together from there. So if you're looking, say, I'll make an easy example. Maybe you make a pen that you guys are using to write, and you want to get them out to people, but you don't know where to go. I'll help you with that. If you maybe making a pen, and there's a certain part in it that is made to finally make the end pen that you're buying from another supplier, and it costs $5 per each pen, and you think it's outrageous, I probably know someone that I could talk to and find that business person and say, hey, you know what, that part that you're looking for, I could get it done for $2 instead of $5. Just because I'm always out networking, like I said, and that's the things that you got to figure out on your own. The time that you have, and how do you can handle it? Is it once a week? Is it 3 times a day? How can you do it to find those things? But if you can't find that time, that's where I could help you with that. It's just a big thing to network, especially in Pittsburgh. I mean, everybody talks about 6 degrees of separation. We're what, 1, maybe 2, I think. So you got to be very selective and be careful how you talk to people, because everybody knows everybody. I could look around the room. I probably know maybe a third today from just different events, but that third I know probably knows another third that I don't know. So if I would say the wrong thing, it might get back to them. So keep those things in mind. It's a big thing to do. Always stay focused and positive, I guess, is probably the biggest thing. I mean, you can't tell today that, last night I had a half aunt, a cousin go to the ER. My one uncle's having surgery today, and my grandmother went to hospice last night. Why? Because that's personal things, yeah, but I keep that smile and happiness going, and people see that. You don't want to be upset with things. You want to be focused on that. Within the business too, if you're looking for events, a real quick plug on my business, there is a calendar on my website. You could look at it for all the networking events to go to. So, anybody got any questions? I want to make sure I cover as much as I can in the little bit of time I have. Like if there's a specific question just on networking, or of course, make sure you dress properly, stuff like that. Any questions from anybody? Come on, someone's got to have a question. Chris, got a question? I know you do. You go networking. You go to the chamber with me. We go to the Cranberry Chamber of Commerce. Now it's changed names, but what do you find when you're out networking? What do people do and not do properly? Yes.
My question for Chad was just, he has a huge database, and how, what kind of things you do to manage that database.
Okay, I'm going back up here now. Okay. How I handle my database is when I go home at night, depending on how late, of course, it is for the event, or the first thing in the morning, I'll take all the business cards I have. I'll put them into, I don't use Outlook, but similar program as Outlook, categorize it. If the person's a lawyer, if they're a banker, categorize all that stuff and just put key notes in there. I met the person at this event, so I remember these things too, and every time I meet them, make a little note. I met them on September 3rd, at 10 o'clock at such and such event. So then if we're talking, once I get to know them a little bit better, maybe there's personal things they have. Maybe, their wedding anniversary coming up. But somehow I got that out of them in that conversation. I'll put a little note in there. So then whenever that comes up, I'll send them a little email or something. Hey, congratulations on your wedding anniversary. Again, something that they're going to look and say, okay, I didn't need him for business right away, but he remembered that. Okay, I want to talk to him more and get to know him on a personal level that way also.
Next question is from the network queen of Pittsburgh, Emily Milius.
Miss Emily.
Dear God. Chad, what you said before about, sometimes you can only go to one networking event a week. That may be all you have time for, but there also may be on your calendar 20 listed. So do you have a quick tip for prioritizing events? Are you looking for size? Should it be more industry specific? Is there kind of a quick filter for which I should go to over others?
Yes, but no. It depends on what you're looking for, out of it. And that's where with my calendar too, I have it all linked back to that event. So you could read them on there a little bit about that business or that event. and see, okay, maybe that's one I should go to. I know we all have limited time too, so I think most of the ones I put at least on the calendar are, I don't want to say cheaper to sound bad, but the cheaper events, the $5 to $10. Some of them are free events that, you could look too and see maybe they're in Canonsburg and you live in Butler. So you could kind of categorize it that way and say maybe that's too far to go to. You could ask me if you needed to. And like I said, most of the events that are on the calendar I've probably been to once, twice, maybe more than that. And there's ones that I find that are just, you'll find once you go, they give you that passion that you like and go from there. I mean, there's maybe ones that too you'll find out. And just try them all as much as you can in the limited time I know we all have for our businesses.
Yeah, Chad,
Yes,
I've met you in many of these networking, and I testify that you are the king of networking.
Thank you.
I say that actually, yeah. But the question is, with all these events that you go to, how do you manage your time to achieve what you normally do for business?
Sure.
How do you balance between the networking and doing what you do as for a living?
For me, it's easy. I'm single. I have all the time. 3 a.m., it doesn't matter.
With all that networking, how have you managed that?
Being single, it's real easy. I could do that, no problem. For those that are married and dating and stuff, I think to prioritize and figure out what to do, there's a lot of events that happen every month. So, you could prioritize it out that way. Maybe your kid has softball on Tuesday nights. If somehow it's a practice and the wife or husband could go to the event and you go to a networking event. Sometimes I even look for people that are looking for co-ops in different companies that will come to me and say, hey, I'm trying to get into XYZ company. I'll ask them to go to the event for me. If I know that they could speak about my business intelligently enough, I'll ask them, and I'll pay them a couple of dollars just because they're a student in college and they're trying to do their thing, but it gives them practice on doing these things also. And I mean, a lot of times I will go with them first and teach them that kind of thing, and then eventually let them go for it.
Other questions?
Why is everybody quiet? There we go.
Oh, here we go.
Sure, it's the Write, WRITE, plan, LLC.com. You just look under networking calendar for the calendar. Mr. Sullivan.
Mr. Pittsburgh Business Times himself.
Oh, he's going to try to
has
quote
made
me
it.
now or something, maybe.
I too can testify to Chad's networking abilities. Quick question though, how do you make a plan when going into a networking function? Do you know who you want to talk to before you go in there, or is it happenstance, or how do you do that?
Most of the time, me personally, I don't know who I'm going to talk to. I don't really kind of do that. And I was speaking to, I just go with my gut, what I feel at the time, and let the Lord bring it through me. If you're new to the networking and going to the events, hopefully, take a friend. That's probably the best thing to go. And talk to them for a little bit so then it looks like you are talking to someone. And then people might want to come up and talk to you a little bit more. Nobody wants to go with me for whatever reason, but it's okay. But that's what I did at first. I people asked me to go to events with them just because they wanted someone to talk to, and I said okay. And eventually, 5 minutes into it, I'm talking to other people, and they're like, "What about me?" They're on their own at that time. But try to prioritize and look around, and everybody wears a name badge, so you kind of see a business name, and if it intrigues you a little bit, go up. That's what we're all there for, right? Go up and, hi, my name is, what do you do? Type thing. Make it a little different for everybody. Don't go up to everybody and say the same thing. Try to make it a little different.
Chad, did you mention Entrepreneurial Thursday?
I did not.
Plug that, would you?
Sure. One of the events that I co-host, I guess, is called Entrepreneurial Thursdays. Again, it's on the calendar. But what it is, it's going on its 10th year this year, and it's at Little E's downtown. It's off of Liberty. I think it's 949, if I believe right. Mahoney's. Everybody knows Mahoney's downtown for whatever reason. But it's above Mahoney's. It's a little bar, restaurant, jazz club type thing that Jessica Lee is the founder of the program. She's been doing it, like I said, now going on 10 years. And what we do is every Thursday